Today we are going to see how can you estimate sums and differences of whole numbers. Books, magazines, and movies were checked out of the public library. About how many more books were checked out than magazines and movies combined? First, let's underline our question. About how many more books were checked out than magazines and movies combined? This word about is very important because it does not want to know the exact amount. We are going to find an estimate. To estimate, we are going to use rounding just like we learned in topic 1. In order to do this problem, we need to look under the school where it tells us 12,642 books, 4,298 magazines, and 2,149 movies are checked out. That is the information we're going to be using to solve this problem. Since the question is asking us about how many more books were checked out than magazines and movies combined, the first part of this question is telling me I have to add up the magazines and the movies and then take the books and subtract the total amount of the magazines and movies from the books. Since I have to round both of these numbers before adding them, I am going to round them to the nearest thousands place. Remember, you underline your target digit and look to the right to determine if the number should stay the same or go up. Since 2 is less than 5, 4,298 would round to 4,000. Now I'm going to do the movies. My target digit would be the thousands place, and in this case would be a 2. I'm going to look to the digit right of the target digit, and since it's less than 5, this number will round to 2,000. Now it is easier for me to add up these numbers. 2,000 plus 4,000 is 6,000. So there are about 6,000 movies and magazines combined. Looking at our chart, I can see that there are 12,642 books. If I am going to continue and round to the nearest thousands place, I'm going to underline my target digit, which would be a 2. I'm going to look to the right. Since the 6 is greater than 5, remember 5 or more raise the score, the 2 is going to turn into a 3. Now, when we are rounding, we're going to keep everything before the digit the same, and everything after the targeted digit we are going to turn to zeros. So 12,642 rounded to the nearest thousands place is 13,000. Now I'm going to subtract the combined magazines and movies, which were 6,000. If I subtract 13,000 from 6,000, I will get around 7,000. So when I look back at the question, it asks how many more books were checked out than magazines and movies combined. According to our work, there were about 7,000 more books checked out than magazines and movies combined. Now let's try the same problem, but we are going to round to the nearest hundreds place. If I round 4,298 to the nearest hundreds place, I'm going to underline the digit in the hundreds place, which is a 2. The digit to the right is going to determine if the 2 is going to stay a 2 or go up to a 3. Since the digit to the right of the 2 is a 9, it's going to push the digit up. So 4,298 is going to round to 4,300. Let's look at 2,149. If I'm going to round this number to the nearest hundreds place, underline the digit in the hundreds place, which happens to be a 1. Look to the right of the 1. If the digit to the right of the 1 is 5 or more, it's going to push the 1 up to a 2. Since the digit is a 4, it's going to rest or stay the same. So 2,149 rounded to the nearest hundreds place is 2,100. Now if I add up these numbers, I am going to get 6,400. So rounding to the nearest hundreds place, there are about 6,400 movies and magazines combined. The question wants to know how many more books were rented or checked out than magazines or movies combined. And since we are rounding to the nearest hundreds place, we also have to round the amount of books to the nearest hundreds place. So the amount of books that were rented or checked out were 12,642. We are going to do the same thing and underline the target digit that's in the hundreds place, which happens to be a 6. Now look to the right of the target digit. Since the digit is a 4, the 6 is going to stay the same. Write everything before the 6 the same, including the 6, and everything after the 6 becomes zeros. So 12,642 rounded to the nearest hundreds place is 12,600. Now we need to subtract the 6,400 movies and magazines that were checked out. When I subtract these numbers, I'm just going to start from my right. 0 minus 0 is 0. 0 minus 0 is 0. 6 minus 4 is 2. We cannot take 6 from 2, so we're going to regroup, take away from the 10,000s place, add our digit over to the thousands place, and 12 minus 6 is 6. So there are about 6,200 more books than magazines and movies combined when rounded to the nearest hundreds place. Let's do our guided practice together. Number 1. To which place would you round to estimate 6,904 minus 4,111? Explain. If I was working out this problem, I would make it easy and round to the nearest thousands place. I would round to the nearest thousands place because we could round 6,904 to 7,000 minus 4,111 would round to 4,000, and 7,000 minus 4,000 would be about 3,000. Number 2. The diameter of Saturn is 120,536 kilometers. Its widest rings have a diameter of 273,588 kilometers. To the nearest 100,000, about how much greater is the diameter of the rings than the diameter of Saturn? Since it says how much greater, I know that I need to subtract. If I'm going to round these numbers to the nearest 100,000s place, and I'm going to subtract, I need to put the greater number on top of the smaller number before I subtract. Otherwise, the problem will not work out. There is not a lot of room on your math book. So go ahead and do this problem in your math notebook. Make sure that you number it number 2. We have 273,588 minus 120,536. Since we are going to round this number to the nearest hundred thousandths place, underline the digits in the hundred thousandths place. Then look to the right to determine if that digit is going to stay the same or if it's going to get pushed up. In 273,588, there is a 7 next to the 2. Remember, 5 or more raise the score. You're only going to change the underlined digit, and then the rest will after it will be zeros. So the 2 will become a 3, and the rest will be zeros. 273,588 rounded to the nearest hundred thousandths place is 300,000. Looking at the next problem or number, we have 120,536. Since the digit to the right of the underlined digit is less than 5, the 1 will stay a 1 and everything else will become zeros. If we're going to subtract these numbers, we're going to have about 200,000 difference in kilometers is what. If you feel comfortable enough to try to round these on your own, go ahead and do that, pause the video, and then check your answers with mine. Otherwise, you can follow along and do the problems with me. In number 3, I'm going to round both numbers to the nearest thousandths place. When you are rounding numbers and you are doing an addition or a subtraction problem, make sure that you round both numbers to the same digit. If I'm going to round 5,638 to the nearest thousandths place, the 6 will push up the 5, so it will become 6,000. If I am going to round 3,753 to the nearest thousandths place, the 7 is going to push up the 3 to 4,000. And 6,000 plus 4,000 is 10,000. If you rounded to the nearest hundredths place, that is fine. Just check your work. On number 4, I'm going to round to the nearest thousandths place. Again, make sure you use the digit on your right to determine if the underlined digit is going to stay the same or if it's going to go up by 1. In this case, 28,881, the digit to the right of the underlined digit is an 8, which will push my 28 up to a 29. And in 17,759, the 7 next to the 7 that is underlined will also push up the 7 to 18,000. Now this is a subtracting problem. So my zeros minus zeros are going to be zeros. 9 minus 8 is going to be 1, and 2 minus 1 is going to be 1. So my answer is 11,000. In number 5, I'm going to round this number to the nearest 10,000ths place. Underline the digit in the 10,000ths place. 63,526 rounded to the nearest 10,000ths place would be 60,000. 25,038 rounded to the nearest 10,000ths place would be 30,000. I got 30,000 because there is a 2 in the 10,000s place. I look to the right, the digit to the right of the 2, which is a 5, which will raise the 2 up to a 3. Adding these two numbers up, I will get approximately 90,000. Number 6. I am going to round this number to the nearest 100,000s place. 262,262 would round to 300,000. 132,147 would round to 100,000. 300,000 minus 100,000 is 200,000. Make sure you are writing down what you are rounding to by underlining the digit you are going to round. Do numbers 7 and 8 on your own. When you are done, come show me your notes and I will pair you up with a partner to do the rest of the work for today.